A lot goes into executing an intense search. Mass cooperation is critical. Today, Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe gave an update on what the province is doing to help.
We have supplemented RCMP and local police resources with additional provincial protective services staff from the province and coordinated increased security presence at area hospitals where many victims' families are gathering. And we continue to offer the full support and resources of the province in this investigation.
We want to bring in our Ottawa Bureau Chief, Mercedes Stephenson. Now, she's been digging into the coordination of resources. Mercedes, first, how does law enforcement make sure that all the bases are covered here?
So far, I've been speaking to individuals who are working both on this case and who have worked on previous very high-profile manhunts in Canada to find out how they put this together. And there's really two aspects, technology and eyes out. And those eyes, of course, are human eyes of both police officers and those in the community. Let's start with technology. They'll be looking for Myles Sanderson's cell phone. Is it giving off a signature? Is it on? Is it bouncing off of cell towers? They will look for access to his social media accounts, who he might have been connected to on there, anything he's posted in the past that might indicate where he has contacts or where he could travel to. There's also things like aerial surveillance. We heard the RCMP talking about aircraft. They can use drones. At night, they have night vision goggles and infrared that can pick up heat signatures, but those things tend to be more useful when you're talking about a rural search. What we're talking about right now, based on what the police are telling us, is an urban search. That's more complicated when it comes to some of this technology. And that's where the human aspect really comes in. Finding people who know Myles Sanderson, who might be sheltering him, looking for cars or people who might be known to him in a neighborhood entering a house, any signs of suspicious activity. And that's why police are encouraging people, if you see something that you think looks a little bit off, call it in. A number of folks I talked to who worked on past manhunts say those little tiny things in the past seem to come back later and often could have been a moment that makes or breaks a manhunt.
Mercedes, what about planning? I mean, how much will officers be looking into whether the suspects coordinated things ahead of time?
Well, this is a big question. What's the motive? And we don't have an answer there because that might speak to how well planned this was. And that could tell us, for example, does Myles Sanderson have changes of clothes on him, changes of vehicles? Did he have things set up? The fact that his brother is dead, Damien Sanderson, could change the police calculus. One person is harder to find than two, but he also has less help. I spoke to retired Sergeant Major Sébastien Lavoie of the RCMP about what police will be doing to try to close the loop around this individual.
How do we tighten up the net around them so that everything becomes difficult? Getting food becomes difficult. Going to a location becomes difficult. Speaking to friends becomes difficult.
And Farah, that is exactly what police will be trying to do tonight.
All right, thanks, Mercedes.